mass layoffs is its like own kind of heavy.
No matter how much work you put in, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears, I don't give a f about that.
Okay.
This isn't market conditions, it's corruption.
What's up, everybody? It's Isaiah here with Ortega Capital and Culture. And today we're going to be looking over some videos about people being laid off before Thanksgiving. I know it's a terrible time terrible to be laid off in general, but for it to happen during Thanksgiving time, we're going to see people are crashing out, people are going crazy, people are crying on the internet. It's really quite sad, but we're going to look at some videos here. This first one we're going to look at is a lady that got fired after she worked her entire shift. Let's take a look.
This is why you have to stop playing with people. If you're going to fire somebody, fire them before they come in. Fire them when they come in before they start their shift. This lady worked her whole entire third shift, then went and set up breakfast for all of the customers, and then after she did that, y'all fired her. So she crashed out. Now, was she right or was she wrong? In my opinion, baby, I'm going to say she right, because you didn't work me a whole third shift, and then I set up breakfast, and then after I do all of that, you fire me? Well, you could have clearly fired me before I clocked in.
Okay, I can get being upset and being angry that you got fired after working your entire shift, but I think she's going a little above and beyond here on her anger. I don't think the customers deserve to deal with all of this.
Or before I even got here, over a phone call. She crashed out, and I agree with her. Stop playing with people.
Okay, now this lady that just got fired looks like she was some sort of a service worker. Perhaps she was the one that prepares the breakfast for the hotel. Looks like a hotel. So yeah, it's kind of odd that somebody would get fired for a position like this, because it's not like a high paying position, you know. And to see people get fired like that is very sad, because they're already barely making it, and now they're losing their job. Very sad. So this next video we'll be looking at is a woman that got fired from what appears to be an office of some sort.
I don't give a f about that.
Okay. All right. Well, I need you gone by 4 p.m. This is too much. This is not being professional. You gotta leave. You gotta leave.
To work here in first place.
Okay.
You're lucky as my things I tried again.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave you at that. I'll give you 5 more minutes. That's it.
I don't like none.
Okay.
I the only person in here who does actually do something, dog.
That's not correct. Stay watching Netflix on the TV. Stay doing all of these things.
We 5,000 over budget this year, but Stacy using the
Let's stop it right there. A lot of colorful language there. Looks like this lady is getting fired because of budget. She mentioned something about him telling her that they were over budget 5,000. She makes a comment about somebody else. But I think that's going to be a common trend that we're going to be looking at, not just in these videos, but out in real life, that companies are now cutting people as, I guess, the best form of cutting budgets. If they're over budget, or maybe they're not making enough money, not enough revenue from people. Let's look at some more videos and see what else is going on. This video is a very sad video to watch. Let's just watch.
No matter how much work you put in, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a company is still a company. And I'm so hurt, but it's like, I know this is gonna be a blessing in disguise, but I'm just worried in the short term. But I'm gonna get through it. I just kind of want to document how I'm feeling now, so that later I can look back on this and say it was a blessing in disguise.
I'm sorry, I can't keep watching. I mean, this is so sad. Just seeing people crying. People's life depend on these jobs that they have, these careers that we sometimes call. In reality, nothing seems to be really secure nowadays, and you can see on this woman's face, like, she's pouring out her tears. She's just so distraught from probably wondering where she's going to provide or how she's going to provide. I'm assuming she's probably one of the main breadwinners for the house. Man, this is just terrible. Okay, first, we're going to look at a comment here from Dennis here. It says, I feel you. I was let go from Verizon yesterday. We're going to be okay. God provides. I'm glad there's people that are out there that are positive. Even if we're not going through the same thing, we can feel the same pain that they're feeling. Wow, there are so many layoffs recently. Something is up. Reality is that most companies will lay off their employees if they have to during the holidays. Unfortunately, it's fourth quarter for the year, and that's when most of the companies are trying to figure out their finances, trying to make sure that they're in the positive. And so we'll see a lot of budget cuts, but man, I feel like it's a lot, and it's happening a little bit more. Maybe it's just because we have TikTok and everybody's able to share this information, but this is very sad. Well, you're not alone. Verizon let me and 13,000 employees go, I assume. I was with Verizon 10 years. I'm 47 years old. I have no idea what I'm going to do. This is tough because when you dedicate that much every time, you have literally like no experience. And this person, I guess, started at 37. So at that point, they felt that they were already established. They have this career going towards them. And to be like, well, 47 is going to be tough because this person's probably used to like working for a cell phone company. Now he's like, I only have three other options: AT&T or T-Mobile. That's the mindset we kind of have whenever we're like with one employee for a long time and don't learn any other skill sets. So it can be a very tough time. So hopefully you find a solution and find something else that's not in cell phone business. So that will lead me into the next video, which is going to be about Verizon's layoffs. So let's take a look.
Breaking news, Verizon is going to cut 15,000 jobs this month and next month until the end of 2025. This is coming after October was the worst month for job losses since 2003. When are the job creations going to start happening? Because so far there's been a lot of layoffs this year. Thank you. On top of that, I do hope everybody affected gets a new job, or at least a severance package is amazing. It's kind of inhumane to just cut 15,000 people, in my opinion. You're asking why it's their own company. How about you don't hire 15,000 extra people that you find out you don't need suddenly? Because remember, Meta just sacked 50K, Amazon just sacked 120K workers, guys. Like, these are some of the worst numbers we have ever seen in this country for layoffs. And these are giant conglomerate billion-dollar companies, not like, oh, you know, firings across mom and pop shops across the country are up. No, we're talking like the supposed FANG companies, like the guaranteed jobs. But hey, we're not in an AI bubble, am I right? Cries in unemployment.
Okay, my question is, where are these people that hired these extra 13,000, extra 5,000 people? Those people are the first ones that should be going. If they're hiring this many people that they don't need, I think they need to be the first ones to go. And to lay off that many, yeah, it's beyond inhumane. It's like pure evil. Like, we're gonna destroy 13,000 people's lives before the holidays. Like, man, my companies, like, y'all gotta do better than this. I have to know. I mean, these companies are run by people. Where are these people? They're gonna lower my monthly bill now that they lowered their overhead cost. I wish. I know my bill's not cheap, and I'm still going down. They just try to add things, if anything. Executives are pumping up their stocks to get those end of the year performance bonuses, while moms and dads can't get gifts for Christmas. You know, that's a very sad thing when people think about their own greed and how they're going to make the money by the end of the year, their last final quarter, and really completely neglecting how they're getting that money. And it's by really laying people off that, you know, depend on these jobs. Very sad.
An hour ago, I got laid off from my job. We lost a client, and they're laying off 37% of the company, which includes over half of my department. And it's very frustrating because all year long we've been told that our department was the golden child, that we had no complaints from anybody, and yet over half, 9 out of 15 were laid off this morning. I had to cry about it. I had a shower about it. And I'm going to be doing what I need to do as far as trying to get unemployment. I don't know what that's going to look like right now with everything being insane. It's literally the worst time to do this.
Literally going through the same thing. I'm blessed that my company is retaining us until the day before Thanksgiving, so we have time to ramp down our patient loads. But timing sucks. I hope you are able to find something that's even better for you soon. That doesn't sound much better. The day after Thanksgiving? I'm sorry, that does not sound good at all, but good luck to you. I mean, if that helps, then awesome. But if not, this is a terrible time to be getting laid off.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I am the daughter of one of the over 3,000 Tyson Foods workers that were told that the Tyson plant in Lexington, Nebraska would be shutting down. Let me tell you a thing about my dad. My dad moved to Lexington in the 90s and began working at Tyson. During his over 25 years of service for the Tyson company, he met his wife and had 4 kids. My dad has dedicated his adult life to the Tyson plant in Lexington. He has missed birthdays, funerals, family events, and more because of his work. I am the daughter of one of the thousands of people affected by this, because it's not just affecting those employed by Tyson. It's also those working the night shift to clean Tyson. It is the truckers that transport the cattle. It's the mechanics and other men and women whose jobs, in one way or another, are tied to Tyson. Senator Deb Fischer's statement on her disappointment is not what we need. A year ago, it was said on social media that Nebraska would go...
Okay, I have to pause here for a second. When it's to the point that your children are making videos about your layoff, it shows how important that job was for that person. And seeing she seems like a teenager, a teenager like worried about her dad's employment, and she knows how much time he's dedicated. I mean, he probably missed like her. She looks like an athlete, probably missing her games. Probably half the time he's having to come like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie, I can't come tonight. I have to stay late." Like that's got to be rough, for a teenager, for a child to have to worry about this stuff it just shows kids have better sense of like humanity than these corporate jobs and these managers that are just willy nilly firing people because somebody else told them to do it.
Bankrupt under this administration, and we are seeing those effects today. The CEO of Tyson, Donnie King, made $22.7 million last year. And yesterday, November 21st, 2025, he told over 3,200 workers in Lexington that the jobs would be gone by January 20th, 2026. Workers at Lexington Regional have also been told multiple times in the last year that if the Tyson plant shut down, the hospital would also most likely shut down as well. Governor Jim Pillen also said in a statement that Nebraska cattle industry is resilient and the envy of the world. Change needs to happen, and it needs to happen now.
$22 million from the CEO, and he's firing that amount of people. I'm sorry, if that is not a definition of corporate greed, I don't know what is. That's pure evil, pure hatred for humanity and families, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned. I'm praying for you and your family. This is absolutely devastating and heartbreaking for all families who have been working, who have suffered at the hands of Tyson Foods. They never treated their employees well. This breaks the camel's back. Pray for Lexington and all the families who are impacted. Nebraska is actually one of the lowest income states that I can remember. I lived there for a little while, for few months. And yeah, to know that companies like this, they support a lot of families, and just suddenly you're not just cutting the ties to 3,000 people, you're cutting the ties to 3,000 families. And these families have kids, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles that are dependent on that income. So to see somebody that's making 22 million, let's say 3,000 people to cut cost, budget cuts, they need to come up with better excuses, better reasons. They need to get people that are better at money management, better financing, instead of letting go of these people that are dependent on these jobs.
Here's what's going on with Tyson Foods and why everybody's talking about it. Tyson is closing a massive beef plant in Lexington, Nebraska. The plant processes about 5,000 cattle a day, and that's a huge chunk of our national beef supply. Reports say that they plan to shut it down in early 2026. Tyson says it's because cattle numbers are really low right now and they're trying to cut costs and reorganize. But here's the real impact. The plant has around 3,000 employees, and Lexington is a small town, so losing that many jobs is going to hit the community really hard.
Value and cost. Value is the same. It's the same meat, it's the same cow. The prices have gone up. So why is Tyson, I thought they did more chicken. But either way, why is Tyson going out of business? Because there's less cattle. I'm sorry, y'all just raised the prices for like the last 2-3 years for absolutely no reason. So why are all of a sudden you're going out of business? Big companies never care about the people working for them. We are disposable moving parts for their business. And that's the sad reality, especially when you got these companies that have thousands of employees. To them, 1,000 employees is nothing but a couple bucks in their pockets.
Tyson shutting down a plant isn't an accident. It's what happens when 4 corporations run America's entire meat supply like a cartel. This isn't market conditions, it's corruption, and it's bought and paid for influence. It's decades of political donations and lobby money letting the Big Four do whatever the hell they want. And when they close a plant, ranchers get crushed, and consumers pay more, and communities collapse. And the monopoly gets even tighter. This is the game. Choke out competition, shrink processing options, and force the entire country to rely on a handful of companies, some of which aren't even American owned. This is why I built the American Rancher Alliance, because if we don't break this cartel now, they're going to own every ounce of food you eat.
I remember when I lived in Texas, there was a small town. I'm not going to say the town's name, but there was a grocery store in this little town. It's like a little mom pop shop grocery store. It was enough for the little town. And all of a sudden, Walmart comes in, builds their little big old store. I don't know if it was a Supercenter or not, but it was a Walmart store. And apparently this Walmart didn't realize that there's not a lot of, or maybe they did. Maybe they knew what they were doing. I'm pretty sure they did. Long story short, this Walmart ends up closing down, but not after they put this other small store out of business. So this store goes out of business, and then Walmart's like, oh, maybe we better not stay here. Let's go somewhere else. Close their Walmart down. I'm sure it cost them millions, but in the end, that store that shut down, now they are having to rely on the next town over, which was like 20, almost 30 minutes away, just to get their groceries. And that's the sad reality. When you let corporations run America, you let them the lobbyists make our laws basically for us, then in the long run, it hurts the small businesses. It hurts the people in the small communities and the small towns. And here is a perfect example of that. So this is another reason why we should have a separation between government and corporations. There's no reason why there should be a tie between the two. Tyson isn't losing a single penny in the beef industry. Them with the other three corporations that control the market are making ridiculous profits. And I guarantee you 100% when we look at the numbers at the end of the year, or Q1, when we see the numbers for 2025, they're going to be, like everybody else, record-breaking profits. And what did they cost? The lives of thousands of people that were just trying to make a living.
I wish that when corporations did layoffs, that they had to spend time with us afterwards. Because you know what I'm doing today? I've been going through all of my finances and trying to decide which medications my senior dog can stay on. She's been really sick and liver failure for a couple of years with some other issues, and she's been doing pretty well, but she's on a lot of medicine. She's on some really expensive prescription food. But she also has really bad arthritis because she's 14. So I have to decide, do I keep her on the medicine that's keeping her alive and have her be in pain? Or do I keep her on her pain medicine and just let her health issues take her? Because I can't afford both.
This is heartbreaking. I'm not much of a pet person, but I know there's people that really do care about their animals, and to have to make the decision, like the way she said it was just like, do I let my dog suffer while I treat her, or do I manage her pain and die peacefully? Oh man, I don't even know how to feel about this. This is sad.
Anyone else got laid off this week? How are we doing? How are we surviving? How are we emotionally? We're doing okay? I'm not okay. Is anyone else okay?
I was just laid off at my company after 6 years, and this was after all of their corporate jargon about how we are one big family. Yeah, right. We are not one big family. You just lay people off in the blink of an eye. So I just wanted to come on here and give some advice to people that are still in the corporate world. And that advice is to get away with as much as you can while still getting your work done at your company, because they don't really care about you that much. As long as you're getting your work done, you should go to the gym during work hours, go to Pilates, if you have an hour or two break. Don't feel like that bad about it. It's totally fine if you're getting your work done. I got away with so much stuff. I would go to the gym and solid core during work hours.
This girl's doing some shady stuff here. I watched the whole video already, but basically what she's trying to say is, I try to get away with doing as little as possible at work, and I try to do as much of my own things while I'm at work. I get it. The whole loyalty is kind of dying down because we are seeing that our employers aren't loyal to us. I wouldn't go as far as this, making it easier for them to find a reason to fire us, and I definitely wouldn't oppose to this, because now your next employer is going to know what you're doing. But that does bring me to the topic of loyalty. And I had a conversation with a friend of mine. It was a few years back, actually. And one of the things that I asked him was, he was very successful. He was like in his 20s, had a really nice place. He had a supercar that he drove. And one of the things that he mentioned to me was, as advice, was don't be loyal to any company. We're seeing now that this is kind of all coming out now, why we are not loyal, because the company doesn't really care about us. And I agree that it's necessary for you to be committed to what you're doing, to your job, because it pays for your bills, obviously, and doing your job and be showing up and being on time, things like that are important. But don't be loyal to the point where you're spending, you're even your hours away from home, planning things for work or working on a project for work, missing your son's or your daughter's game because you have to go to work. Don't put work as your priority. You and your family should go first, and then you fit in your work around your life. Don't make your work your life. Okay. And there's a couple of comments here. It says, that is an excuse, by the way. They are outsourcing to other countries and paying people their way less. That is definitely true. I just had a call yesterday. I was calling my phone company to get my phone replaced. And this person, this blatantly said, like, oh, yeah, over here it's 11 a.m. Over there it's a different time. And I was like, oh, where are you at? In the Philippines? I could tell by the accent. She's like, oh, how did you know? And I was like, oh, and I work with people that, are from the Philippines. But yeah, these companies, anytime you call anybody over the phone, I guarantee you it's 100%. There's some telephone service company that provides the service in some other country that pay them probably a tenth of what they would be paying an employee here. So outsourcing has been taken over for a long time, and I think we're just using AI as an excuse. I'm so sorry about your layoff. I hope your next gig is better. I realized this year that I would take days off just to run errands. So I started running errands during work hours instead. If you can get away with it and it's not affecting your work, why not?
So I haven't gone running today because I've been in fight or flight this morning because I got laid off today. I think that it's been a tough last couple months for a lot of people. I'm sorry to everyone who's been laid off recently. Hopefully things get better in our economy and things turn around. I know it's going to be a tough holiday for everyone, but at least running is free and we can keep running.
Get away with as much as you can. It's such a good motto. Sorry to hear this, but your take is so good. Companies do not care about individuals, so we should not bleed for them. You're going to find somewhere else that will value way more. True. I mean, it's a good take in the sense that like you're not focusing, pouring out your whole life and soul and blood and tears into this job. I still think you need to do your work, not necessarily do things while you're at work, because that's a good reason for them to fire you. And as far as finding somewhere else that will value you way more, unfortunately, we're seeing there's no value anywhere. Nobody cares about you as an employee. Maybe the people individually, but not as a company or a corporation does. Let's go to the next video.
The worst part about being laid off is that somebody else decided the trajectory of your life. Somebody else decided the trajectory of your career. Somebody else decided the trajectory of your financials, all within like a 15-minute phone call, and your entire life was changed and you had no say in it. Somebody else made this decision for me. I had no say in it, and now I'm the one who has to deal with the repercussions. And I'm the one who has to find a job in this horrible job market, and I'm the one who has to spend all day feeling like lack of purpose and like, what do I do with my life? I'm the one who has to deal with the trauma of having your entire career pulled out from under you. Just like the worst part about being laid off is you have no control of the issue. Of course, obviously, I love having control of my life. Like if I made this decision, if I quit, that's a different story. Somebody else decided that they were going to be a group of people that are no longer going to work at the company anymore because they can't afford it or what have you. And I was part of that group. Obviously, I woke up this morning like really pissed off about the situation. And I know everything happens for a reason. And that's the only thing that keeps me going. Like I know I'm going to come out of this and be so thankful it happened one day. But it doesn't change the fact that like it's super hurtful and fucks with your brain.
I often wonder how these companies make the determination like, oh, we're going to let go of Johnny, Marcy, Tom, and let's go ahead and Susie as well. Like, how do these companies just go about choosing to fire? Like, is it literally like, is it like a lot? And like, let's just draw lots and see who gets fired. It's very sad that somebody else that probably doesn't care about you, doesn't know anything about you, is making this decision over like, okay, let's give this person the struggle of finding a new job and providing for his family. Like, how do these people do this?
So yesterday I was laid off. And if you can't tell by the swollen eyes, I haven't exactly taken it that well. Being laid off a week before Thanksgiving when I was about to have 2 holiday paid days off and spending it with my family, I find out I no longer am going to have a job. I was just minding my business, doing my job yesterday. No warning, no nothing. I get told that the HR department needs to meet with me immediately and asked if I was free in 10 minutes. My heart immediately sank. It's like I knew. How do you not know? When HR wants to meet with you very suddenly, when the meeting is called HR check-in, that's usually not good. The HR manager comes on the screen, and I wish I recorded this, and literally says, I come with bad tidings. And I'm just staring blankly like this, and of course she said, due to budget constraints and restructuring of the organization, we have to lay you off.
It has nothing to do with performance. We've appreciated everything you've contributed. There will be no benefits after your last day, which is going to be this Friday. There will be no severance pay. You cannot cash out your PTO, but you can look into cashing out your retirement if you'd like. Do you have any questions? After almost 2 years of working for a startup company and changing my roles, doing everything that was needed of me, and going with the flow, rolling with the punches, working hard, showing up, doing what I was supposed to do, being a team player, it didn't matter because you are replaceable. Just remember that. Don't ever give your loyalty to a company. Don't give them 100%. Don't neglect to take your PTO because you feel like you don't want to get behind or there's too much work to do. They need you there. No, take your PTO. Take your sick days. Take your vacation days. If a family member dies, take your bereavement. Take all of the days, because at the end of the day, this company that you work for and you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, they can get rid of you in a snap, no remorse, a week before the holidays, and give you nothing to show for it.
I don't understand how that's even legal. For them to tell you you have no benefits, you have no PTO, you can't cash out the money that all the hours that you've accumulated. I would be livid if that was me and they told me that I couldn't cash out the hours that I had already earned. Second of all, I want to point out the fact that the manager or whoever this HR person comes in and tells her with have bad tidings, like, man, that's just like a slap in the face. It's like, hey, it's the holiday season, and by the way, you're getting fired. That's, to me, that's just rude. Aside from being a horrible time, it's so considerate of some people. These managers that they know their job is secured. Better watch out because their job is not secured. Could be them next. Let's look at one of the comments here. Same. Laid off yesterday with no warning whatsoever. My entire department was dismantled. Here's an extra little fun thing. The call invite had my name misspelled. Wow. So we hear so many times about people being a person and not a number. This is why they say that, because when you work for a company that's especially a large corporation, you really are just a number to them. They really don't care what your name is. They don't care your story. They don't care about if you have children, if you're married, if you're going through a rough time. If they want to let somebody go, it's not a blink of an eye. All they do is sign and then you're gone.
So I just got off a Teams call at work. I got a meeting invite this morning called Team Update. There was about 15 people on the call. Our VP just terminated our positions. I'm feeling really upset about it. In tech right now.
15 people, that's terrible whenever they get 15 people together and say, you're all fired. They don't even have the decency to tell you one by one. They're going to just fire you. Is that a thing? Is that a new thing?
A lot of layoffs are happening. Who knows, maybe this is a blessing in disguise. I like my job, I enjoyed my job, but I didn't love it as much as I used to. And I know that you're not supposed to always love your job. A job is a job. A job is to make money so that you can provide for your family. And I was very fortunate to have that job and to work with all the people there and learn all the things, level up my abilities. Thursday, I didn't think today was gonna be like this.
She brings up a point about loving your job. It's important that you are able to do your job and that you're able to grow your job and have a job to be able to provide for your family. But loving your job, it's a whole nother level of commitment. People will dedicate their lives to an employer, and the employer has zero commitment to you. As soon as they find somebody better or find a way to cut your job because they can do the same job you're doing cheaper, they will do it in a blink of an eye. No consideration for how loyal you were, how much you loved doing your job, how well you did it, how much people liked you, how well your customers' reviews were. None of that matters. At the end of the day, the only thing that talks to the company is money.
I might be getting laid off this week. My job is doing mass layoffs. There was an article that came out saying that was happening on Thursday. Everybody around me says that is true. There are many signs pointing to that being true. We got a new CEO. He said layoffs were coming, so layoffs are coming. And I do not know if I'm going to be one of them. I'm feeling very severe anxiety about it. I almost just had a panic attack. And I want to rot on my couch and doom scroll. but I know I shouldn't. Instead, I'm gonna rant and then I'm gonna go for a run and try to feel better.
It's going to comment here. I got laid off 4 days ago after being in the job for 26 years. It's happening left and right at every large companies. I didn't get upset. Not worth it. It's a downer for a day or two, but there's always another door open. Be strong. And this is exactly why I made that point earlier, is that you can love your job, but don't be connected to your job to the point where if you let go, you're going to be down in the pits about it. This person is, obviously very strong and confident in their abilities. And so if you do get laid off, just know that there is another job out there. There's another opportunity, another door that'll be opened. You're not going to be unemployed forever, and you're not going to struggle forever. But the important thing is to just stay positive and continue living.
So I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but the aftermath of corporate mass layoffs is its like own kind of heavy. Like, yeah, my job is safe, but surviving a layoff doesn't mean you're ever really safe. It's just kind of like a matter of time. It's like morale drops, everything just feels really, really weird, and you're constantly reminded that there's no such thing as loyalty in corporate America. Not that there ever was such a thing as loyalty in corporate America.
So she's making a very valid point that no job is really ever safe unless you're, I was going to say the CEO, but no, even CEOs get fired. Yeah, I can't think of any job where I could say, like, yeah, these people aren't getting fired. And if you see people around you getting fired, then you know that they don't really care about your people. They just care about money. And you're next in line. Whether you like to think it or not, you are next in line.
Like, you could be at a company for a year or 25 years and get cut like that. Like, that's not a real thing, but you're just constantly on edge, and there's just so much uncertainty and tension and sadness. And it's a really weird human experience to be a part of. Like, logging into work today just felt rough. Like, I don't even want to work, but at the same time, I feel like I have to work even harder now to prove my value. Like, I have to show that I still deserve to be here, but emotionally, I'm not.
Yeah, it almost seems like sometimes they lay off people and leave certain people as a scare tactic. Watch out. We're layoff happy. We're going to lay off anybody that we want, regardless of how hard you worked here, how long you've been here. I was talking to somebody the other day that they said they were laying off the older workers because the older workers were getting paid a lot more. And I remember actually now talking to my brother-in-law, I think it was last year, he was getting the new position, and basically he was being trained by the old timer that had been there for years because he was being let go. And it's sad that, our most experienced people, we lay them off just to save some bucks. For a company, I can say it's a few bucks.
There. Like, I try to process things over the weekend, but it's just all very, very heavy, like emotionally heavy, mentally heavy. And it's so strange to act normal and be productive and like smile in meetings when everything just feels so off. And like, I'm reaching out to people, on work things just to find out that they've been impacted, and it's just like, it's just weird. It's just weird. So yeah, even after the dust settles after layoffs, the energy is still really, really heavy. And, while I'm grateful to still have my job for now, I just feel really, really, really bad for the people who don't. So if you need the reminder, no job is safe. And that's just the name of the game, right? Like, we're just another cog in the machine. The machine needs to keep on going. So can't put all of our eggs in one basket.
No job is safe, as she's saying here. And if you do feel like things are weird, like you're just feeling down, like you're scared, don't be afraid to talk to somebody, whether it's somebody that was laid off already or somebody that you're still working with, or even just a family member that doesn't know the situation at work. Just talking to somebody is very important, because if you don't talk to somebody about the things that are going on, these things can bottle up and really spiral you down. And if you do end up getting fired, laid off, whatever you want to call it, you could potentially be one of those people that end up crashing out and destroying everything in sight. So yeah, talk to somebody. I have to work harder to prove my value, but I feel like the layoffs serve to show you why that's a losing battle anyway. You can work as hard as you want, but it doesn't truly protect you, and that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's real. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. I felt this when I survived layoffs. The guilt is real, but I was also in panic mode because I could be next. So I started interviewing again to get out before I was let out. It may also be because I was working in product and they always cut those teams first. And so here's a couple of people that are basically saying, yeah, this is true. You're going to feel guilty because you didn't get laid off when perhaps your friends or the people that you thought worked harder got laid off. And don't feel guilty. This is not your fault. The only people that should be feeling guilty are the people that are doing the fire, which is the managers or the company, whoever you want to blame. But You should not feel guilty because you didn't get laid off. Be thankful. And yes, this girl's making another point that she started looking for another job, looking at an exit because she didn't want to be let go and be left wondering where she was going to be getting the money next. So it's a very tough situation for a lot of people to be in the job still where everybody else got let go. And it does serve as a reminder that the company does not care about you, even though you make it.
I got fired from my job today, and I was not expecting it at all. And the cherry on top of it is my husband also got fired because we work for the same company, and they were doing company layoffs because we were in a slow season, and we just got taken over by another company. We weren't expecting this at all. We didn't know that it was coming. So it's just been a really hard day because we have 3 little kids. It's right before Thanksgiving, it's right before Christmas, and this is just a really hard time of year.
Microsoft layoffs go harder. Termination effective immediately with no severance pay. This is insane. So Microsoft has initiated a wave of performance-based job cuts with affected employees losing their jobs effective immediately and receiving no severance packages according to termination letters sent to staff. The termination letters obtained by Business Insider state that the employees are being let go because their job performance has not met minimum performance standards and expectations. Impacted workers face immediate removal of access to Microsoft systems, accounts, and buildings. Now, in a particularly strict measure, the company is discontinuing healthcare, prescription, and dental benefits for employees on their final days of work. That's terrible. 3 terminated employees confirmed that they would not receive severance payments, underscoring the company's more stringent approach to performance management. Microsoft went on to say, "You are all relieved of job duties effective immediately." In the termination letters, employees were to return all company property, including card keys, corporate American Express cards, and any Microsoft hardware or software in their possession. The letters also warned that the future employment applications.
All right. In this economy, whether you have a job or not, you need to be sending money back. I mean, realistically, you need to be putting back at least $1,000 out of each paycheck. No matter what happens, put that back into savings, rainy day fund, whatever you want to call it. And if you're not doing that, you need to be more disciplined. Look, I don't care. Look, I would even go as far as I won't pay my mortgage if it keeps me from having to put $1,000 back out of every paycheck. I'll do whatever it takes. Because everyone keeps telling us you need to be prepared for a layoff. And the only way to be prepared for a layoff is to have a fat stack of cash that you're sitting on. So that when the hammer falls on you, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have the stress. You don't have to go out and try to find a job immediately because you've been putting the work in and you were disciplined and you were setting your entire paycheck back. In fact, take it a step further and borrow money from people so you can set that back also. Build that bird's nest up. It doesn't matter if your bills go unpaid. It doesn't matter if you don't eat. It doesn't matter if the lights go off or the phone quits working or the heat gets turned off. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is you're budgeting like a disciplined person and you're setting back at least $2,000 per paycheck. If you're not doing that, I don't know what you're doing.